So, I'm here in Ocean Beach, San Diego. I've officially made it from the Atlantic to the Pacific. Big deal, right? It's almost like 3,000 miles. I've been on the road since, what, was January, February, so it's been a few months now. And I am loving it more and more. What I did, my last day in Flagstaff, which was actually freaking amazing. I was in Starbucks having some coffee and I was about to leave to go take a shower. I saw some local that I previously had known. I went out with this local, had a good time, went partying in the downtown area. What I ended up doing is wake up and it was a late start to the day and I ended up getting to Quartzsite, Arizona. In Quartzsite, I stayed there just for the night. It was a 4-hour drive and then right after that I drove right through California, right? California is my first time ever in California. And let me tell you, boy, is it freaking different over here in San Diego than over in Flagstaff. This video is going to be about my finances, what my priorities are while I'm traveling around, where am I headed, what is my strategy for keeping this sort of life sustainable. I don't want this just to be a random trip where I'm like, okay, saw that, and then go home. I want this to be my life. I like it. It's freaking great. Or finances, right? That's been my main concern. Why is that my main concern? That is my main concern because finances is really something that's very important. Making money on the road, it seems to be a common problem for people doing this mobile living. Money is the root of all evil, whatever, but money I don't think should be your priority. It should be a good, awesome tool that you can use, not only to bring more value to yourself, but bring more value to the world. It's a good tool, and I do believe that you should have good financial health. It's like health with anything. So basically, what I did was I set out a goal for this month to make at least $1,000, and I surpassed my goal, and that was really freaking awesome. Actually, I've been using this website called Upwork. I've been getting some of my work there, some work from other clients. As you guys know, I have a degree in digital media. I have been dabbling with all sorts of stuff in the digital media industry since like high school. And I never really took freelancing too seriously. I did part-time freelancing in college. I would do jobs here, jobs there. Nothing, it was never like that big of a deal. I interned at Nick Hotel and I interned at Dream Factory agency doing web development, and it was cool. It was a great experience. But I knew from those experiences that I wanted to work for myself. And I'm starting to realize that graphic design is what I'm leaning towards. I like the artsy stuff, I like creating things, and this freelancing gives me the ability to choose projects that I enjoy doing. I get to be like, hey, I want to make a poster, I don't want to deal with that. It's kind of it's astonishing to me that to have that sort of power of choice to grow in directions you kind of want to grow. I met a guy here in San Diego on Upwork when I was in Flagstaff. So I met him and we actually met up and we became friends. We were hanging out, got some beer, coffee. We went fishing one day, which was really cool. I also hung out at his place. I met him and his wife. Crazy, and they were so much fun. I just had a good time when we ate, and they were talking about doing like a house swap where they take the van out and I take their house for the weekend, which I thought would be kind of cool. I'd get that, house in Cali. Cass is a freelancer and he does it full time, and being around him was really cool because I got to hear his insight on freelancing. He gave me some tips on dealing with the business side of it, and it really helped me, and it made me realize that, you really just got to put in some work, some footwork, take some action, and stuff will come your way, which is a big thing that I'm dealing with right now. Is action is important. Disciplined action. You gotta make sure. What are your priorities? You know what I mean? You got to push nonsense stuff that takes up and wastes your time. Push that out of your life. And doing this van stuff it's been a lot easier pushing stuff because I'm alone. I got no influences but myself and what I choose to bring in and out of my life. That I hit my financial mark. I know a little bit over $1,000 isn't a lot. It's not a lot of money, but it is a lot of money considering I'm living in a van and considering I'm working from my computer. If you do want to obtain something in your life, which I'm really starting to realize, especially this last year, it took a desire to be doing what I'm doing right now, and then it took, for that to happen, it took action in between that. I'm here, you know what I mean? And it's really awesome because this was my dream to do this, and now I'm like, whoa, okay, now what? How do I keep this alive? And now I'm realizing finances keeps it alive. Not only alive, but growing and expanding. Which is crazy. So my experiences here, guys. Ocean Beach is very, very crowded. That's one of the downfalls. One of the many downfalls. Just kidding. But yeah, one of the downfalls. Dad, there's so many people. I don't know if you can see, but already, like behind me, people, guys on bikes. Every time I want to do something, sit down and meditate, there's someone around. And it's okay. It's okay. I like people. I do like people, but I do like my alone time. And I've met so many awesome people. When I first got here, I met these people working for Greenpeace that were outside of Starbucks, and I met them. They were locals. It was awesome. And one of them was a very, very cute, flirtatious girl. She seemed really sweet and awesome. She knew what she was talking about. She really sucked me in to this information. And I do try to be, you know, cautious and aware of the way I live. And you know, basically now I'm a member of Greenpeace. It's funny, but I ended up going out with her and meeting some of her friends. She was actually a lesbian, not that it matters, but we ended up just talking, and it was pretty cool, especially for being in the first couple days I was there, meeting these locals. And I went to North Park, which was totally different than Ocean Beach. It had like a hipster kind of vibe. Ocean Beach is more like a hippie, homeless type of vibe, which I fit right in. Literally, I blend in. I met Where's My Office Now. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that YouTube. I'm sure you guys are. Emily and Corey. I saw Emily walking down the beach, and I was like, oh my gosh. It's from Emily from Where's the Office Now. In my little van dwelling world, her and Corey are celebrities to me, you know what I mean? It's a little starstruck when I was talking to them, but they were so freaking sweet. They were great. They're welcoming. They offered me food. I went to their vehicle and just chit-chatted for a little bit, and that was a really cool experience. Also, I hung out with another van dweller. He was from Las Vegas, and I follow him on Instagram. His name's Steve McFly. He was freaking great. It's so cool. Everyone in this community is so down to earth and inspirational. I've been doing this fasting thing because I like to keep track of my calories, just so I make sure I get enough fuel. So what I do is it's called intermittent fasting, where I eat about at least 2,000 calories within a 7-hour period. I went out to get beers when I was fasting, so you know, I had 2 heavy beers, and you know, I'm pretty intoxicated. And guess what? I turned 24. I turned 24 on April 11th, and I went out with McFly that weekend. And guess what? McFly also had a birthday on April 11th too. So we both were sharing the same birthday, drinking beers. It's cool. What ended up happening is we got some beers and we split up. He went back to his van, and I was gonna go back to my van, but I don't really sleep well when I'm a little buzzed, so I was like, okay, I'll go back and I'll walk around. I ended up walking around, and I go outside of this place called Winston's. Adventure Van Man told me I should try out Winston's when I was hanging out with him in Sedona, and I saw Winston's, and it cost $20 to get in because they had a band playing. And there's this guy from Texas. Yeah, so this Texas guy convinced me I should go, and I was like, you know, you're right, I'm a little buzzed. And the one thing with me when I get a little bit intoxicated is I'm a happy guy, but when I'm intoxicated, I'm incredibly happy. I'll run around dancing and spending money and whatever, drinking more beer, eating shit tons of food. It's fun, but it's only temporarily fun, because the next day I'm like, what did I do? I spent $100. So, but guess what? It was my birthday weekend. I was like, you know what? I'll go into Winston's. I'll freaking have a blast. I'll go dancing. I haven't danced in a while. I don't know if you guys know, I like dancing. I'm not skilled, but I enjoy it. So I ended up going dancing to this live bar, and it's awesome. Later that night, I ended up meeting that guy from Texas who convinced me to go in. He didn't even go see the show. And so I ended up hanging out with him. I couldn't find my van. I'm stupid, I know, but I ended up meeting a homeless guy who showed me where this beach was that I was staying. So it ended up being okay, ended up being good. I'm alive, and I'm 24, turned 24. You know, Ocean Beach, it's been easy to meet people. It's been really good. What's really cool about drifting around and stuff is realizing you can start controlling and sculpting who you are if you want, you know what I mean? Like moving against your own identity, start acting and reacting differently. and sort of pushing boundaries and transforming your own self. And that's what this van life was kind of exciting for me, was sort of just tripping away from my whole everything, my whole life, my whole wherever I was, and kind of just out here in dream space world, figuring out shit. You know, what am I gonna do with tons of free time? Who am I gonna become? What sort of ecosystem am I gonna build for myself, emotionally, socially? You know what I mean? It's like, it's a very raw feeling. I don't know. In all, Ocean Beach has been pretty good. It's been easy. It's been fairly easy to vandal. I've been staying at Mission Bay. My favorite was right over here at Sunset Cliffs. But guys, even though there's a lot of, it's beautiful here and there's tons of people, the main thing is there's too many people. I spend too much time trying to find a spot sometimes. I don't like driving around trying to find a spot. I don't like I'm not a big fan of urban camping. I'm not a big fan of sleeping on the streets. Now that I've spent a month in Flagstaff sleeping out near the mountains, there's a large homeless population. I guess I'm part of the homeless population, I guess. But there's a lot of like transients and homeless people, which I'm fine. I'm always fine with homeless people. I feel like I blend in with the homeless people. I was talking to one homeless guy who was playing the guitar. We're chit-chatting, and he automatically assumed I was homeless. He's like, "You don't look that homeless." And I was kind of like, "What makes you think I'm homeless?" Like, I think it's my hair and my beard. Sometimes I look pretty wild, and I'm like walking around with a backpack, just wearing shorts. I guess I kind of do look like a bum sometimes. I blend in, so I personally have not had any issues with the homeless population, because I think I'm one of them and I blend in with them and I'm friends with them. But some of them are sort of sketchy, especially at the coffee shops. There was one guy who was just talking about getting out of prison for meth, and he was walking around with a hammer. And then I've seen multiple people get kicked out of coffee shops and they're screaming at the baristas, and I'm like, what? What's going on? The busyness and the urban camping is kind of getting in the way of my focus towards making money. What I liked about Flagstaff was the ability to camp out in the woods. I could put lots of energy into my main priorities, and I don't want my main priority to be finding a parking spot or whether or not I'm gonna get hit in the head with a hammer. I don't want those to be my main priorities. Yeah, my plans are, I'm going to LA in a few days to meet a friend who has a layover, because she's going to Guatemala. She's gonna layover in LA, and I'm gonna hang out with her during the day. After that, I'm going back to Flagstaff, back to my spot in the woods, and I'm gonna focus on accumulating money and developing my skills in graphic design, getting a solid base, and start strategizing this life to be sustainable and forever, you know? I'll be just exploring, trying to be more social. I'll be exploring more of Flagstaff, probably finding different camping areas, and maybe going up and experimenting with different places in the Grand Canyon and Sedona, maybe hitting parts in Utah. But yeah, Ocean Beach has been great, exciting, and crazy difference from Flagstaff. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's just a quick update and reflection on my travels. I'm still not sure what YouTube is for me right now, but it's a good place to reflect. I don't know if it's going to be a full-time thing. I don't think so, because I have other things I'm working on. But this is nice doing an occasional video. I really hope you guys, you know, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate it.